guys, and welcome to the Lure Bench. I'm Tammy.
And I'm Jules. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a closer look at the Nomad Riptide 200 floating stick bait. We'll be doing a castability test followed by an underwater swim test.
Following those tests, because the Nomad Riptide is designed for large predatory fish, we will be taking it through our reef tests, which consists of a shake test, a pull test, a heat test, and a bite test. So let's get into it.
Jumping right in and taking a closer look, the head has some really nice realistic looking features, a holographic eye with a raised gill plate. There are small holes running down the body that form a lateral line, a fin-shaped groove with a holographic sticker. There's a unique looking belly on the Riptide, and one of the best things about these Riptides is they come pre-rigged and ready to use out of the box. The box states that it weighs 90 grams, so we went ahead and weighed it. Turns out the weight given on the box is actually the unrigged weight, and the real weight is 103 grams. It's not much, but may be the difference between which rod you choose. For today's test, I'll be using my trusty PE6 Seacore rod 10K Certate, which is spooled with PE8 Ammonite casting braid. Rods PE5 and up should be appropriate when casting lures of this size. For this test, we set our cones up starting at 50 meters and a 5 meter interval after that to give us a rough idea of how these lures cast. Wind was fairly minimal on this day, heading from right to left and slightly in front of us. The Riptide was extremely consistent at hitting that mid-50s range. The pool we're using for testing is a mineral pool and should give us roughly the same water density as the ocean. We get a fantastic action when giving this lure a long sweep, and it also pulls down a nice bubble trail, which helps give off that injured baitfish look and attract predators. Here we see a few short, sharp jabs giving off a very erratic action, with that hook ripping at the surface, creating a bubble trail and noise. What you're seeing here is rod tip down and winding at high speed. Even with the simplest of techniques, this lure does all the work. Basically, it's pretty hard to get things wrong with this Riptide, making it a great option for anglers of all different skill levels. Moving on to colour options. This version of the Riptide comes in 11 different colours, has a recommended retail price of $49.99 Australian dollars. This is a very popular model of lure in Australia. It should be available in-store or online through most retailers. A noteworthy feature of the 200mm Riptide is that it has a full stainless steel plate, which is integrated with the body. Nomad refers to this as their matrix metal plate system. Should increase the toughness of the lure, but I guess we will test that later on in this video. Has a triple shield protection of 3 coats of resin. It's made of a high density ABS plastic, and all Nomads are designed and tested in Australia.
Okay, so now that we know it casts well and it swims well, let's move on to our reef tests. We've designed these tests to give a hands-off approach to testing lures. That way it's unbiased and it's not just our opinion. Every lure will be going through the same tests.
Today's tests are designed to simulate a day at the reef, from the motion of the boat and the damage that does in a tackle box, all the way through to the bite damage done by these large predatory species.
Let's go see if this lure survives.
I'm not exactly sure why the head took such a beating, but there is a fair bit of chipping happening around the head area. The rest of the body looks mostly okay, and you can hardly tell it was in there. As the Riptide is designed for large predatory species, we decided that 200 pounds would be our objective and a suitable test for a lure of this type. From this point on, you can already see the hook is starting to open. The main focus is to test the lure, not just the hooks, so we're going to stop here. We've removed the hooks, and so we're continuing with just the split rings. Let's hope that stainless steel through plate is up for the job. The stock split rings have started to warp, but the lure is fine. Let's move on to the belly hook point. looks like that metal matrix system did its job and the toe points hold up great. There appears to be zero warping or misshaping of the toe points. We left the Riptide underneath the heat lamp for approximately 15 minutes, and we topped out at about 70 degrees Celsius, with no signs of damaging or bubbling. However, once it cooled, we noticed there was some light cracking through the paint.
And now for our bite test. We really struggled to find a way that replicates the damage done by a large fish. So after much testing, we settled with a rabbit trap and we added a set of aluminium jaws. Let's go see if this lure survives.
Let's remind you how it all started. And this is how it looks after our reef tests. We see some nice chipping of paint on top from the shaker test, some dents and scratches around that gill plate from the jaws. We can clearly see the white cracks that came up after the heat test. They appear to be only cosmetic. And of course, a few more dents at the back of the tail there from the jaws. Even after all the tests we've put it through, I'd happily put the hooks back on and go and throw it at the reef.
So after all our testing, the Riptide held up really well. I'd happily say you could use this lure to target species such as tuna, kingfish, or even toothy critters at the reef like giant trevallies and Spanish mackerel. A big shout out and thank you to the guys at Nomad Design. They willingly supplied this Riptide for testing today.
That's a wrap up for this episode, guys. We really hope you enjoy our content. Please like, comment and subscribe, and we would also love to hear from you of any possible ideas that can help us improve our channel.
Hope you guys enjoyed and thanks for watching.
Ciao!